Welcome back to the Kies 992 build. In today's video, as you can see with everything out, we're gonna make this car drive like a supercar. In episode 1, we did everything performance related that you'd expect to give this car the capabilities to hit over 700 horsepower. We installed pure turbos, CSF cooling, an Akrapovic exhaust, DO88 parts, APR, BMC, and so much more. Then in episode 2, we made this car look like it has 700 horsepower by adding carbon fiber to the front of the car, the sides, the mirrors, the trunk. We even installed a GT3 style wing and diffuser. Which brings us to today. Starting up with the wheels, we went with the best in the business with BBS FIRs. These are light, these are super strong, they look amazing, and they fix all of the fitment issues that Porsche left us with. And to make sure that we have all of the traction that we need for 700 horsepower, we went with Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02s. These are very sticky tires that are going to be more than enough to handle what we can throw down. Now, speaking of fitment, we have some AST lowering springs to make sure that we get the stance we're looking for, and it's also going to help with our handling. And to make sure that we have the appropriate stopping power, we have brand new 2-piece Brembo rotors and EBC brake pads. Then to complete our brake service, we have some brand new liquid moly brake fluid. We have a stud conversion from Redline. That's going to make it super easy to get these wheels on and off. And we're going to finish off the build with some world famous TLG rock guards. So with that, let's put it on the lift and get started. Wait, I just realized that we never let you guys hear how good this exhaust sounds. But it gets even better. How good does that sound? All right, now the first thing we're going to be doing today is we are going to correct the fitment, and we're also going to be lowering the car with some lowering springs. Now, typically, what you're going to do when you lower a car, you get some lowering springs, you throw it on, and you call it a day. But I'm not a huge fan of that because a lot of times lowering springs will put you a little bit too low, and you don't have that fine adjustability. But today, we have the AST ALS kit, which is the adjustable lowering spring. Basically, they come with these little perches, and it's essentially like a coilover, except they use the factory dampening system. So that being said, if you have PASM like I do, which is Porsche's active suspension management, you still have full functionality over that button, and you don't have to worry about coding out all of these errors like I had to do on my 1,000 horsepower G80 M3. Another cool thing is that these are made in the Netherlands, and they are super high quality. If you've watched our channel in the past, you'll know that we've installed these on a ton of high-end cars, and they work great every single time. So with that, let me throw them on, and then we'll check them out on the car. All right, so right now we're almost on the passenger rear. Everything looks incredible and everything went in very easy. To be candid, I've never done Porsche suspension before, so I didn't know what to expect. It's a little bit different than BMW, but it's not necessarily harder. There's only 3 bolts at the bottom, 3 bolts at the top, and then there's 1 cable that needs to be disconnected, and then everything comes out pretty easy, and it goes back in even easier since our new springs are actually smaller. So what needs to happen next is I didn't torque anything, because whenever you're doing suspension, you want to torque everything at ride height. So what I'm going to do, once we get the wheels, tires, all that on, we're going to figure out the ride height, adjust it as needed. Then we're going to put it on the 4-post, torque everything at the desired ride height, then get it aligned later. Got it? Let's start the front. right, we just finished installing the passenger front. If you want to take a look, I love the coloring on these springs. I actually love the orange and blue. It's a shame that you're never going to see them, but who knows, maybe one day we'll do the calipers in orange or something. But anyway, these went in super easy. Instead of taking the entire strut assembly out, as you may have seen in the camera, I figured out that if you separate it and you remove this top hat portion over here, you can take the factory spin and just spin it out the top of the hole. And it actually worked out really good. It was no stress on any of the components. I didn't have to take out the front axle or anything like that. And it was super easy. So I'm going to now repeat everything I did over here on the other side. As far as adjustment, the only other thing I want to say is on the other side, you have the adjustment piece at the bottom, where this one is at the top, and it's very easy to access. So if you do need to adjust it, which we're going to need to do later, everything's super easy to get to, which is not always the case with these. So with that, let's do the other side. All right, so at this point, our suspension is fully installed. Once we get the wheels and tires on, we can do the final tightening of all of the hardware in the rear, make sure that everything is torqued properly, set the proper height, then we can get it aligned. But while I was doing my suspension, you probably noticed that my rotors are beat to death. And that's because these have seen several track days, drag racing. We did some circuit days at New Jersey Motorsports Park, and they have seen a lot of abuse. So when it came time to replace my pads and rotors, my first thought was, I have Brembo on the car, I'm gonna go to the dealer, and I'm going to get regular replacement rotors. But I had the opportunity to speak with someone from Brembo, and I actually learned a lot. Now, just because this has Brembo brakes on the car does not mean they are the same as their race line. When Porsche contracts a company like Brembo to make a brake kit for, say, the 911, they don't just call Brembo and say, hey, we want the best brake kit on the market. Instead, they say, hey, Brembo, we want a brake kit, and you have to fit it within this box. It has to cost less than X dollars. It needs to be quiet. It needs to be something that can be daily driven or driven to the track, but we don't want it to be too harsh. There's this whole list of constraints that they have to fall between, and that is what leads to this factory kit. Even things like the disc, again, because of some of these things, it's a high carbon disc. It's not even an iron alloy. So what Brembo does, they know that this isn't their best work. It meets the requirements, but it's not how they would design it. Is once they're done with the OE, they go to town in Brembo, Italy, and they design the brake kit with none of these constraints, which is what leads us to these discs that we're going to be installing today. These are the GT series from Brembo, and they feature the Type 3 high thermal discs. These are the same brake discs that they're using in NASCAR, Le Mans, and most of the professional racing that you're watching on TV. They are not using these factory brakes. Those are terrible compared to this. This is next level, and this is literally what they're using on professional racing series. So when it came to stopping 700 horsepower, these are going to absolutely do the job. And the reason that NASCAR and these other organizations use these is because they provide the best heat dissipation and thermal management to manage those temperatures in the brakes. It's going to make your car brake better, and it's also going to make your brakes last longer, which is exactly what you want in a set of brakes. And as I said earlier, these are directly from Brembo in Italy, giving us the highest quality products for the highest quality cars. Now, with the brakes, you need a good brake pad, and that's why I have 3 different options on the table here. These are all from EBC. I've run EBC for years and years. You can watch our channel for the last 10 years. You're gonna find a lot of EBC content. Now, red. This is going to be your basic ceramic pad. Is it the best for tracking? No. This is a really good daily pad. It's going to provide very low dust, and I don't want dust all over my big, beautiful BBS wheels that we're going to be installing in just a minute. Blue is going to give you more dust, but also more bite. This is typically the pad that I use on even my 1000 horsepower G80. We take this to the track because it's a good pad for the track and also daily driving on the street. And then over here, when I'm feeling wild and crazy, I like to use these. These are actually the pads that I've run on this car multiple times at New Jersey Motorsports Park. These are the RPXs. I love these. They stop amazing, but they will create crazy amounts of dust and crazy amounts of squeal. So on the back, it says for track use only. That's really why. So just like there's shoes for different occasions, there's also brake pads. So I'm going to be running the red stuff for now. It's literally snowing this week, so I'm not going to be going too fast. This is going to be great for around town. Then when I'm going to the track, I'll probably switch in for the blues or maybe the RPX. I like to have all 3 available on hand, so that way I can adjust my pad to what my driving style is going to be. Lastly, every time we change the brakes, every time we go to a race, or worst case, every 2 years, we like to change out the brake fluid because, as you guys know, brake fluid absorbs water over time, which is going to give you that mushy feeling in the car, and we definitely do not want that, especially pushing high horsepower. So we're going with Liquimoly SL6.4 fluid, which meets all of the standards required for my 911. So with that, let's install the brakes and flush the fluid. pads and rotors are fully installed, which leads us to our next mod, which is a Renline wheel stud conversion. Now, as many of you are already familiar, Porsche, like BMW, likes to use wheel bolts, and these are great. It's a great solution. That's why they do it from the factory. And if you're going to be using those, we have a cool little stainless steel wheel hanger. It doesn't damage the wheel. It's perfectly smooth, but with my car, I plan on tracking it quite a bit, and that means the wheels are going to be coming on and off a lot. So doing a wheel stud conversion is just gonna make my life a little bit easier. So the way that these work, you're basically going to take one nut, you're gonna thread this on, then you're going to take the second nut and lock it in. Then we're going to use some Liqui-Moly high strength screw retainer, put a couple drops on here, and then this is going to get threaded in and torqued down to 30 foot-pounds. Then you can remove the nuts. Then the result is you are going to be left with these nice wheel studs that are gonna make it such a dream to get the wheels on and off. Now, one thing to note on wheel studs as a whole, typically what Renline recommends is if you're doing 10 or less track days a year, they're good for roughly 2 years or so. But if you're doing more than 10 track days a year, they recommend that you change these out annually. So I'm going to install these, and while we're in this general area and while the wheel is off and everything is at a nice height, we're going to be installing world famous TLG rock guards. These are a must-have if you have a 911. As you know, the hip of the car really sticks out and it gets pelted with rocks. Even Porsche from the factory slaps a big old piece of PPF because they know about the design. Now, when we put our BBS wheels on, it's going to correct the offset a little bit. The problem with that is it's going to throw more rocks down the side of the car, but with a simple little invention like this is going to discreetly install over here with absolute ease. And as your wheel is spinning, shooting rocks here, they're going to simply hit this, bounce off, saving the side of your car. With that said, let's get to work. All right, everything is coming together great in the wheel wells. We have our TLG rock guards to make sure that nothing is going to damage the side of the car. We have our Renline stud conversion, gonna make it super easy to get the wheels on and off. Our beautiful brakes, look at these Brembos. We have the Brembo rotors, and we also have the EBC red stuff brakes to make sure that our brand new wheels aren't gonna get super dusty. The AST ALS kit, everything is looking incredible. Now it's time for me to flush out the brake fluid with Liqui-Moly, and then it's finally time to install the wheels. And last but certainly not least, it is time to upgrade our wheels and tires. As you can see, this is what my car came with from the factory. I never cared for the two-tone, and I don't really care for the style all that much. Now, Porsche does make some great styles, like on their GT3s and some of their more expensive cars, but for the Carreras, they really missed the mark, and that's why we're upgrading to fully forged lightweight BBS FIRs in diamond black. Now, for the fronts, they are a 20x9 with an ET of 48. In the rears, we have a 21 by 11.5 with an ET60. And what I decided to do with this set is we wrap them in extreme contact Sport 02s. These are great summer tires. They're good for dry and also wet conditions. You can use them on the track, you can use them off the track, and it's going to be all the tire I need to handle 700 horsepower. Now, if you followed our channel throughout the last 10 years, we've run Contis on many of our cars, and I recently had the opportunity to go down to BMW's Performance Center and test these tires out on the M2s, M3s, M4s, 5s, and even the 8s and some of the SUVs, and they handle like an absolute champ. So let's throw them on, torque it down, and then we'll give the car a final look. All right, so as you can start to see with the car coming together, everything is looking incredible. The ride height is significantly better. The wheels look amazing, even the brakes and wheel studs. Everything we did today makes this car look amazing all around, especially with the carbon, the newfound power, and so much more. I can't wait to drive this car on the road. So far, we've set my 992 up to perform, to look, and to drive like a supercar, but we haven't even touched the interior. So come back for the next episode where we're going to make this car feel like a supercar on the inside, and then it's time to hit the dyno.